Hey Wildcat fans, it's early January. We just had a fantastic 3-0 win over the Edmundston Blizzard here at the Kings Mutual Century Center in Berwick. Huge crowd in town to see this one, and it might have been helped out a little by the fact that this guy was in the building with us. You might recognize the face. It's Drake Batherson, of course, gold medal winner at the World Juniors for Canada. Drake, thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Here's a question I doubt you've answered before. Man, what was it like to win that gold medal? No one's asked you that so far.
Yeah, no, it was unbelievable. We were with the same guys for about 3.5 weeks, and to create new friendships and play with such great players was such an honor. And to bring the gold back to to Minus and Berwick here for the game today is awesome. And all the fan support that came out, and I remember seeing all the old faces here coming into the rink, and it just brought back good memories. And yeah, I was happy to be here today.
Yeah. The guys on TSN talked a lot about your journey all the way through. A lot of guys on that team are people who come out as, they're the top players coming out of Bantam, the top players coming out of Midget, and straight into the Q or the OHL or the WHL at the first opportunity. And, of course, you stopped off and played a year of Junior A here. So it's, a lot of people look to you as a real inspiration of, don't give up. You can make things happen.
Yeah, I would say I took, the longer road to get there for sure. I mean, I played, 2 years of Bantam, 2 years of Midget, and then 2 years of Junior to, get to the World Juniors. And, it's been, I don't regret anything. It's been a hell of a ride, and, I'm enjoying it for sure.
I'm flashing back to that year of Junior A here, you with the Wildcats, and just remembering, from what I remember, that was a tough year because you spent nearly the entire season sick or injured, I recall, that you were very rarely able to give 100%, but you still went out there and, scored points and made a difference in that one. So, tell me about making that jump from Midget into Junior and, what it was like here before you went on to a whole new experience again in the Q.
Yeah, it was a tough year for me. I was fighting pneumonia for a long time, pretty much from late September till early December, and then by the time I got back, I had to find my legs and get my lungs back and stuff like that. So it's a little bit challenging, but everyone's got to go through it, I guess, at one point. So and then my experience, I guess, playing the Midget and then going to the Junior is just a lot faster and a lot stronger guys, and just making sure you're working hard off the ice, to be ready to go when camp comes. And I think that's what I did. I put in a lot of hard work. So, I just showed up to my first NHL camp this year. I was ready to go.
Well, talk about big steps again. Doing something like that is, once again, a big step as you're playing with, the best in the world everywhere you go at this point, whether it was in the Q or trying to go to an NHL camp with the Senators and that sort of thing. That's tough competition, but you're right in there.
No, for sure. I remember, watching Bobby Ryan when he won the Stanley Cup. I think it was, grade 5 or 6, and then, being on the ice with him, going on the 2-on-1 or playing an inter-squad game on his line or something like that, was pretty cool. And like Dion Phaneuf with those guys, it's, it was truly an honor to be out there with those guys and, hopefully be on their team one day.
Yeah, a little different than, playing with those guys in like NHL, 18 or something. Actually being on the ice with them is a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than then seeing them, on a video game rather than, getting changed in the same dressing room or, working out after practice or whatever the case may be.
Coming through the World Juniors this year, I mean, you guys had a really crazy tournament. I mean, you went out there and dominated a lot of games. They had the outdoor game that you got to participate in, goes all the way to a shootout. I mean, you don't win that one, but just the spectacle that you get to be involved in that one. I mean, even more than winning the medal, what's it like to walk into a football stadium where you're going to play hockey in front of 50,000 people?
No, it was unbelievable. It was pretty snowy. It was a pretty sloppy game for the most part, but thankfully we had heaters on the bench, so we weren't too cold. But as the crowd was crazy, I think it was probably half Canadian fans, half American fans, and whenever one crowd was chanting "Go USA, go," the other half of the Canadian fans were chanting "Go Canada, go." So it was pretty cool, and then. To hear them, the crowd go nuts after you score was, unbelievable. It just gives chills down your back, and it's something I'm never going to forget. It was probably the coolest game I ever played in, besides the gold medal. Yeah.
Well, it's certainly you've made an impact at this point. You scored so many goals at the championship, and an amazing knack for finding the net. Really, it's you put kind of that big guy in front of the net to screen the goaltender. You're bigger than me, but you're not the biggest guy on the team, but you seem to have a real knack for being able to get those pucks to go where you wanted them to go.
Yeah, it was my first time actually playing the position, so I only had a few weeks before the tournament, to get used to it, and yeah, they just, they figured I had a good hand-eye, and I ended up having a pretty good hand-eye, I guess. So, that's where they kept me for the rest of the tournament, and yeah, that's where I did my work down there for sure.
And of course, with the business of hockey, you leave as a Cape Breton Screaming Eagle, go to camp, and come back as a member of the Armada. So you'll be heading off to Quebec, going to the Montreal area to join them. Plus side, that's one of the best teams in the queue right now. Downside, I think I heard you say off camera you don't speak much French.
No, yeah, I don't speak much French at all, but I'm excited for the new start with Blainville. They got a really good team this year, and have some really good players, and I'm excited to get up there, this weekend and play my first couple of games. And yeah, I can't thank Cape Breton enough for what all they've done for me, and they gave me the opportunity to play Major Junior. They're the ones who helped me get drafted to the NHL last year. So yeah, I can't thank them enough for everything they did for me.
All right, well, nothing but the best going forward, Drake. Kick butt with the Armada. And hopefully this isn't the last time you get to wear that sweater.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, hopefully it's not the last time.
That's Drake Batherson, now a member of the Armada in the QMJHL.